already know what it is. It's Barbershop Conversations. Hit the subscribe and the like button today.
Barbershop Conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I want to talk about Ray Lewis. I've listened to a couple of videos about Ray Lewis, Kanye West, and Jim Brown meeting with Donald Trump. Now, before we jump off the cliff and call these guys crazy coons and everything else, always remember, well, I'll speak for, I voted for President Obama unapologetically, right? And there's two things that President Obama did that I think that was deplorable. One, he never went to the south side of Chicago and gave a speech standing behind some urban development calling for the violence in Chicago to stop. And when you're the president, there's a lot of symbolism in what you do. That's President Obama's second home. I believe Hawaii being the first. He went to college. He actually went to college to my rival. He went to Occidental for 2 years before transferring. But and the second thing that he did, which I thought was just, he gave Michael Jordan the Medal of Honor Award. A man from Chicago that said Republicans buy sneakers too. And in the words of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he said he chose commerce over consciousness. If you sit back and fully understand or see the symbolism in that, Chicago is the murder capital of the world. I apologize. Murder capital of major city America. Michael Jordan's second home is Chicago, or let's call it his first home because that's all we know of Michael Jordan. He's never given a speech about the crime in Chicago, Illinois, in front of an urban development pleading for it to stop. He's never lowered his prices. He's probably one of the geniuses that made all his Jordans limited edition, which causes fear, which moves the supply and demand curve that forces people to react. He's the man that has people lining up 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning with $500 in their pocket, making them prey to predators. All you got to do is Google people getting killed for Jordans, and you'll see more stories than you can imagine of people getting robbed, shot, killed, standing in line for a pair of Jordans. And Michael Jordan never spoke up about this in a consistent manner. If I miss one, I'm sorry, but I've never known of Michael Jordan to speak out about this. And the president can go to another country and speak at the G8 meetings. The president can go get Osama bin Laden, who in reality is not a threat to America. He can go get Saddam Hussein, right? But he can't take Air Force One to the south side of Chicago, right? He can invite the Chicago Cubs to the White House, but he can't park Air Force One at Midway Airport, O'Hara Airport, and go to the south side of Chicago and give a stump speech as president of America with gangbangers behind him, alongside him, single mothers of all ethnicities. It's not just a black thing, but since we're speaking of black, since we're speaking of the systemic epidemic of black crime in Chicago and black crime across America, I've never seen him do it. I've seen President Obama eat at Roscoe's here in LA, and I tried to catch him that day, I'll be honest. I waited for him, and he drove right by me. And he, in his, they call it the Beast, right? He was going to a fundraiser here in Los Angeles at Paramount Studios, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So let's not jump off the cliff yet. And I have no predictions on Donald Trump's presidency. As I told you guys, I did not vote. I voted for other stuff, my local elections, and I voted for Kamala Harris for senator. I did that. But I couldn't pull the trigger and vote for president because I thought it was a reality show. I just made no sense to me. So don't jump off the cliff just yet. Okay? Please do not jump off the cliff just yet. Because perception sometimes is 9/10 of the law. Right? And if Donald Trump isn't Donald Trump. He is the president of America. All right? Now, as the president of America, you have to reach out to leaders that would want to speak to you, right? And if Jim Brown, the most top 5 iconic pictures I've ever seen in sports is the Black Summit, with all those great black athletes supporting one another. So let's hold our water before we pass extreme judgment. It's okay to be frustrated at a Kanye West. It's okay to be, yeah, right? Your initial reaction, it's okay. But as I tell you, I'm very pragmatic. I do my best not making emotional responses. I always try and be the pragmatic person in making a decision. What's the best way to go about this? And if we want guns out of our inner city, if we want drugs out of our inner city, Jim Brown's brain should be a part of it. Jim Brown has done an extraordinary job. When I say extraordinary job here in Los Angeles, and just Google it. It's called well, anyways, I'm good friends with his right-hand man that runs the Co-America Foundation. I know I'm mispronouncing it, but real good friends with his right-hand man who runs his nonprofit and has an AAU basketball program. And that's and the gentleman I'm speaking of murdered someone and did over 15 years in prison. So the things he's done, just Google Jim Brown and you will see gang members meeting at his house. At his house. Trying to make a change in these inner cities. Jim Brown has the last 50 years, I think he retired at 32, if I'm not mistaken. The last years of his life making change in LA, and I have firsthand experience of what he's done. I've seen gang members cry for Jim Brown. So I can't speak of that of a Kanye West. I've seen Kanye West concerts. I can't even remember how many times I've seen him. But the last time I saw Kanye West in concert, I walked out of his concert just because he was too arrogant. He talked too much. And you guys know I go to 20, 30, maybe 40 concerts a year. But so I get the initial reaction. What the fuck are these niggas doing? Meeting with this guy. But I want drugs out of the inner city. And it takes a generation to do it. Now, we wanted the outlier experience, and we got it in 2000 when President Obama became president. Now, we have an extreme outlier, and he is our president. I didn't vote for him. So let's be clear. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. But I'll say it again. If we want drugs, prostitution, gang banging, killing, innocent killings, the ignorance of standing in line for Jordans, if we don't want to see our projects, as Jay-Z says, our projects are a project. If we don't want this in our inner city, we have to allow people that look like us and have our experiences, right? I don't know Herman Cain's experience, right? I don't know if he grew up on Martin Luther King Boulevard or Malcolm X Boulevard in Harlem, Martin Luther King Boulevard here in LA, and I don't know what the street is in Chicago, but I don't know if he's grown up on them streets. Those voices need to be in the White House. All right? Now, what they do, I'm not condoning what they do in a personal life. I'm not. But Donald Trump appears to say he's going to do it his way. Now, as men, fuck what you stand for. But you got to respect the man who wants to do it his way and succeed. Right? Donald Trump did it his way. Worth billions. Holds the highest office in America. Controls America now. January 20th, he's the man for 4 years. So I'm going to hold my water when it comes to Donald Trump and let him do his job. Right? It's like me, for an example. I've been in positions where people look at me like I was an elementary school teacher for 1 year at an elementary school. And, young black men don't teach elementary school. Elementary schools are riddled with estrogen. Positive and negative. I won't get into the teaching personalities, but when a young black man steps in and wants to teach elementary school and 80% of the teachers are women, you can kind of figure, apples and oranges. I get it, but I'm just telling you. And, I've been in college where less than 5% of the population is black. Less than 3% of the graduation class is black. So I'm going to hold my water, and I hope that you guys hold your water. Vent your frustration. I get it. It may be a reaction to the reaction to the reaction of Donald Trump becoming president. I get it. But hold your water. Okay? Hold your water and see what becomes of this. Because I would say this again. President Obama never took Air Force One to Midway or O'Hara. Got out of it. Drove the beast down to the south side of Chicago. Stood behind graffiti with what the Vice Lords, I think is, the BMFs. I believe those are the gangs in Chicago. And asked for peace. Jim Brown did it here in Los Angeles. Google it. He had Bloods and Crips talking about peace. So I just want, maybe in my elder years I'm losing it. I don't know. I'm losing my vigor to go fight. as I tell you guys in all my commentary videos, as it relates to that cause or reaction, I'm a pacifist. Self-defense is my last offense, right? Is my last move. I mean, violence is my last move. The only way I react, if self-defense is my only option, it's my only option. And I'm a well-trained boxer. The average person can't beat me up because I'm gonna punch you first. Just being candidly honest. You guys know I train between 1 and 3 times a week in the gym, depending on my schedule, for years. But I try and be the pragmatic person in everything that I do. So we're gonna root for Donald Trump. All right? We can't hate Donald Trump. He's the president. Right? And he has yet to prove himself in that capacity. We should be calling President, if we want to call anyone a coon, President Obama is more of a coon than Donald Trump is. And I know it don't make sense because Donald Trump is white. But just think about it. Think about it. So, barbershop conversation, guys. I just wanted to talk about this for a hot second, man. And just because I was on Fox, I listened to CNN. Jim Brown was on CNN. I posted the video of Kanye West and Ray Lewis. Now, what I'm saying now does not support what they did, what they said prior to meeting Donald Trump. By no means, I'm not condoning what Ray Lewis have said. I'm still a strong supporter of Colin Kaepernick. He's man of the year in my eyes. I know that's just a reaction to the video, but I'll have to sit down and think about it. But he's definitely a consideration, So Donald Trump said one of the more poignant things and simplistic things on the campaign trail. He says, "Black people, what do you have to lose by voting for me?" He didn't throw out statistics. He didn't lie and say, "I stood beside black people at Union 32 in Arkansas," Bill Clinton's speech, when we tried to raise wages and get benefits. I stood beside Union 432X, whatever it is. He said, very simple. You are impoverished. Your schools are underperforming. There are minimal jobs. What do you have to lose? So, think about President Obama's presidency. I cried that Tuesday in November of 2000, I cried. I campaigned for President Obama. I gave money to President Obama. I took the day off work. I was a school teacher. I took the day off work that Tuesday so I could just take it all in. I remember that day vividly. One of my dear friends' mother, that Tuesday, we buried his mother on that Tuesday. I went to the funeral, and obviously he was sad because his mother wasn't able to see a black president. And I consider myself as pro-black as I possibly can. So I'm raising my child as a black. I have a mixed son. I'm raising my child as a black man. I'm not ignoring the fact that he's half black, but I'm saying I know the obstacles and the hurdles he must overcome. So let's start with I'm just talking right now, but let's start with getting Christopher Columbus out of our school system. Let's start with not allowing these white heroes to penetrate our children's brain. Cesar Chavez and Martin Luther King are not the only heroes. So I can go on and on with this video. I don't want this video to be long because I probably lost a lot of you guys along the way. And I hope that you guys tweet this. I appreciate all the guys that respond. I think I heard Ticket TV, who I subscribe to his channel, and I love his channel. And there were some other ones that I listened to, I can't remember, but I think the kid has an extreme work ethic, puts out 20 videos a day, you know. But I want us to hold our water, because Ticket TV, I believe you're younger than me just by the tone of your voice. I've never met you. I don't know what you look like, but I support your channel. But let's see a year from now what Donald Trump has done in office. Let's see a year from now, did those conferences make a difference? All right? Because I, like you, want to see change in the inner city. I, like you, want more Colin Kaepernicks. I would love if my son became a Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick is half black. I would be a proud father if my little man grew up to be a Colin Kaepernick. I tell my son every day, are you a king? Yes. Are you going to inspire the world? Yes. Are you daddy's hero? Yes. I do that every day. You know, because it has to be a person that looks like him that inspires him. So, barbershop conversation, guys. This video can be an hour for me, but I'm not going to make it an hour, because I want this as a concentrated message, as a 22, 23 minute concentrated message can be. So enjoy your Saturday. Bernard Hopkins. Tickets are very inexpensive if you're in LA Basin. Go to the fight, man. $20, $25. And we'll see. So barbershop conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you guys. The channel is growing. And I support all these channels, and it's a great. You know what the beautiful thing about YouTube has literally made it so easy for people like me to start their own business. For my cousins, I'm not saying they have their own YouTube channel, but to be an entrepreneur. I know I'm changing subjects, but you can have 2 strikes. You can have 2 felons, get a YouTube channel, and make thousands of dollars a month. How beautiful is that? So barbershop conversations, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Hey guys, it's your girl Angie. You're watching Barbershop Conversations. Make sure to click that button below to subscribe, like the video. Don't like it, leave a comment. You can also follow me at Angelica Curtis on Instagram. See you soon.